Alright, so we're back with game 1 of Smogon Champions League. This is a match between Ace Hunter and Daunt versus... Honestly, the teams are really somewhat similar. You have the same structure, right? Double Mianfu, Pawniard, Natu, and then you have the fighting type check, Marini and Fungus. Ace Hunter has a Diglett which can trap Pokemon. If Porygon doesn't have Thunderbolt, it'll get walled by Frillish too, which is something to be careful about. Don't get walled by Frillish on accident. Yeah, I'm trying to see. So Daunt versus is probably going to try and win with Ponyta, maybe? I feel like Ace Hunter's Diglett is a lot more threatening this game. If it can play well, it can trap Marini, it can trap Pawniard, it can trap Ponyta. Even looking at the structure, I wouldn't be surprised if it is Scarf Ponyta to try and lure Diglett, because this is a Diglett weak team. So I'm pretty sure that, I would say that Ace Hunter has a decent matchup here. He has Diglett to trap Pokemon, and he has Frillish to wall Porygon and Ponyta if there is no... It can even wall Natu, honestly. If there is no Thunderbolt on Porygon, it's looking really good for Ace Hunter here. You could try... So Fungus runs Spore to try... Okay, T-Spike goes up. Spore the Marini, okay. That's kind of annoying. That T-Spike can be annoying. I think Ace Hunter is going to go straight to... So Dawn versus is going to go to Pawniard here because it matches up well versus Natu, for example. And Ace Hunter can't really go to Mianfu because Mianfu would get poisoned by the T-Spike. So it's a really strategic T-Spike there to kind of... The T-Spike won't poison anything probably, but it does put, Pawniard in a good position here. So I think Dawn versus is going to go straight to Pawniard, trying to predict Natu, for example. Definitely my prediction for what's going to happen. He's going to go to Pawniard. He goes to Natu instead. Yeah, I thought Pawniard would have a fine play there. That's fine too. So Natu into Natu. So it's trying to basically... The thing is, Natu doesn't punish Pawniard too well, for example. I guess you can Heat Wave. Natu can Heat Wave here. Basically, he's going to try and maneuver the T-Spikes in on, Frillish or Mianfu, for example. That's what he's going to be trying to do here. And every single... Okay, it's Calm Mind. Okay, this is interesting. How do you go to Fungus to remove the T-Spike, or do you go to Pawniard immediately? Calm Mind Natu is very threatening, and it kind of wins, to be honest. Diglett can have, Life Orb beat up, but it would get poisoned here, which you don't want to happen. So this Calm Mind Natu is actually a game changer, and it could be good. And all singles formats have Sleep Claws, so that's a big difference from VGC if you're new to that. Natu can use Shadow Ball, but it's not very common. Typically, you're going to see Psychic, Heat Wave, Roost, and maybe U-Turn or Calm Mind. It can have Shadow Ball, but it's not too common. So how does he respond to Calm Mind Natu? So he goes to Fungus, so he thinks he has time to remove the T-Spike and then go to a different Pokemon. Maybe Pawniard, maybe? Natu can either Heat Wave or Calm Mind again. Fungus isn't too threatening to a Natu. Maybe Sludge Bomb Poison could be annoying, but that's about it. They could go to Frillish directly, even, but it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with Calm Mind Natu. It's looking really threatening here. Very likely it's Psychic, Heat Wave, Calm Mind, Roost. That is a moveset to watch out here for Natu. So you could go to Pawniard immediately, but you would have to risk taking a lot of damage from Heat Wave. Frillish, because of the special defense boost, might not even beat Natu, even though it has a type advantage. That's something really important to note. Mianfu, not really. It speed ties with Natu. It can use knockoff, but that speed tie is not something you want to get into. Heat Wave, big damage. Sludge Bomb Poison. He gets the poison. That's going to be huge. That's a really huge poison. Makes life a lot more tough. Now, Natu almost has to Roost in a way. I guess Natu can either Heat Wave or Roost. That was a big poison, though. Natu has to Heat Wave or Roost. That was a really big poison. He goes to Pawniard on Frillish. Oh, really good predict. Oh, because he knew Frillish uses the move Hex. So even though Natu had a Calm Mind, because of the power double, Hex Frillish would have been able to beat Natu 1v1 with the poison. So he goes to Pawniard predicting Frillish. So a really good play to get the, good matchup here. Pawniard versus Frillish. Now he can knock off. He can even Stealth Rock if he predicts Mianfu. So knock off, Stealth Rock, anything here is a good play. So he understood. He goes to Mianfu. Do we see Stealth Rock? Stealth Rock. Ooh, that's a really good play. So basically, he knew Natu could block Stealth Rock with Magic Bounce, but he predicted that he would never risk the Natu, and he gets Stealth Rock up here, which is a good thing to have. You always want Stealth Rock on the field. Mianfu probably going to knock off into the Marini. High jump kick. Now, Marini has to be careful because it's fallen asleep, so Ace Hunter can U-turn into Diglett and trap it. So you have to be careful about getting trapped here. You have to be very careful about Diglett. You really have to be aware of Diglett here. So do we see the U-turn from Mianfu? Or do we see another knockoff, another high jump kick? And timer is something to watch out for. He is at 30 seconds right now. So he's taking his time. High jump kick. Doesn't wake up. 2 turns to sleep. The maximum is 3. So this is kind of like moderately unlucky right now. Not a big deal. Ooh, he goes to Natu on knockoff. Gets hit. Natu goes down. So the Calm Mind Natu, which could have been a big threat, is neutralized because of that poison. And now I think it's looking tough for Daunt versus. Diglett is still a big threat. And Porygon, he goes to Mianfu, okay, yeah. So he's basically down 1 Pokemon in exchange for Stealth Rock, but it's not a huge advantage because that Frillish can wall a lot of Pokemon. And you don't have anything really immune to Fungus's Spore anymore now that Natu is gone. And Shiny Mianfu, by the way, that's kind of cool. 5-on-6 with Stealth Rock. I'm not optimistic he can break that Frillish though. Ponyta has Wild Charge, but it might not do enough to a well-played Frillish. Porygon will have to predict really well with Thunderbolt to even have a chance. One thing he can look out for is a timer win, maybe. Maybe he'll run out of time, but that doesn't feel realistic. He can try playing aggressively and run the clock out. Knockoff, 5 seconds left, by the way. Really, really tight right now. U-turn into Fungus. Mianfu has a free knockoff here. Marini does have a regenerator, so it's at 10% now, but it can get up to 40, up to 70, and then it can be fine. But yeah, Marini is basically out of commission unless he can play it back in. What do we see? Knockoff again into the Fungus. He wasn't really scared of Fungus because any damage it does, he can regen it off. Fake out, fake out. Do we see the high jump kick from Mianfu into Mianfu? The annoying thing about Frillish is that high jump kick would hit the ghost type and fail, and you lose 50% of your health. So you have to be careful about that. Back into Fungus. Do we see a prediction or no? We see the prediction. U-turn into Fungus. Now Ponyta should come in. Pawniard comes in. That's fine too. Ironhead looks strong. If you can Ironhead Mianfu, you get a lot of damage, which is cool. Fungus can't really touch Pawniard. Hidden Power is not in the game anymore. And it can't Spore. Mianfu into Ironhead. Psycho Cut. Ooh, he gets a critical hit too. Oh, he baited in the Mianfu, knocked it out with Psycho Cut Pawniard. He baited in the Mianfu there. He got it in a good position and knocked it out. Okay, now Pawniard looks really good. Diglett might be able to trap Pawniard though. You have to be careful. 5 seconds left. He's running out of... Diglett comes in. Diglett is going to try and trap Pawniard. Pawniard does have Sucker Punch. Ooh, it doesn't even trap it. It's too strong. Pawniard's too strong. And now Ace Hunter's entire team struggles versus Pawniard. Natu does not beat Pawniard. Frillish doesn't beat Pawniard. He'll have to use his own Pawniard to try and beat Pawniard. But he goes straight to Mianfu. Oh, Pawniard sweep is in play. And it's really tough because his only... Okay, knockoff into the Pawniard. Berry Juice gone. Ironhead. The problem is Pawniard wins the game from here on out. This Pawniard is too weak, and Pawniard can beat Natu, Fungus, and Frillish here. So he was able to lure the Mianfu. He had enough attack, so he had a lot of attack investment, maybe Adamant Nature too, to knock out Diglett as well. So Daunt versus has to be a little careful here, but it looks like he has it in the bag. He completely shifted the matchup with that Psycho Cut play. It's unlikely Ace Hunter's Pawniard has Brick Break, but you would have to be careful about it. Sucker Punch, We see Trace Porygon, which means it's a defensive Porygon. Typically, offensive Porygon runs Download and defensive runs Trace. So it's an offensive Porygon, which it's not an offensive Porygon. So maybe it has Thunder Wave. If he can Thunder Wave Pawniard, it's game over. No, he goes back to Mianfu. Really good predict. So basically, Ironhead, the Mianfu predict. Ponyta comes in now. Ponyta comes in now. And you can go to Frillish, but Wild Charge is a big threat. I'm not sure if you risk it, because Ponyta can very easily Wild Charge here too. So do we see the Wild Charge into Frillish? Do we see the Flare Blitz? Which one do we see here? Frillish, high horsepower, does 28, disabled. Maybe it doesn't have Wild Charge? Now, if you're Dawn versus, you can't play too, haphazardly. You don't want Frillish to Skull Burn Pawniard, for example. So you do have to be careful with how you approach it. But Pawniard does have a matchup advantage. And one interesting thing Dawn versus is doing is he's keeping Marini alive. That way Fungus cannot spore Pawniard. That's a very important detail. Why is he keeping Marini alive at 10%? Because of Sleep Clause, that way Pawniard cannot get put to sleep too. So, do you go to Porygon here? I'm not sure what you go to here. If you have Wild Charge, do you do it for damage? Frillish is going to use Recover here. Maybe you Wild Charge, maybe you switch out. He has time on the clock, so unlike Ace Hunter, he has managed it well. So I'm not sure that it's a big... he might be taking his time here. We could see a long draining of time here while he figures out what to do. Because he does have the advantage, but it's not immediately obvious what the pathway is to win. Goes to Pawniard on Skull. Burn? No burn. Okay, so now Knockoff can come in, pick something off here. No Skull Burn. And now... Frillish probably loses to Ponyta too. It's taking too much damage. 5 seconds left. Frillish is gone. That means Ponyta wins the game. Yeah, Pawniard wins the game. Ponyta wins the game. It's over. Nothing can really take on both Pokemon. He's going to try and maybe Ironhead flinch spam if he can. Goes to Porygon. On the Knockoff. Takes big damage. Flinch could be annoying, but Ponyta's going to win the game. You can't do anything about Ponyta. Yeah, Stealth Rock goes up. Tri-attack damage, 24. Stealth Rock could be annoying for Ponyta, but it's not going to be a big deal, realistically, because Ponyta's at too high health. Ironhead flinch. He gets the flinch. He might have to Sucker Punch crit the Ponyta. That might be what he has to do. He might have to Sucker Punch critical hit the Ponyta. 5 seconds left too. Goes to Natu. Ice Beam hits the Natu. Pawniard on the Natu. Natu, Berry Juice, Natu, Roost. Okay. Now there's another free knockoff. You can't switch into it. Yeah, Dawn versus should win the game comfortably now. I think only a Sucker Punch crit can save Ace Hunter here. He probably goes to Pawniard here? Yeah, he goes to Pawniard. Knockoff doing 19. Sucker Punch. Ooh, it's a speed tie. Okay. And he gets it, yeah. Natu at 72. Stealth Rock will put it low. And Ponyta should clean up now. If the Ponyta doesn't have Wild Charge, maybe Natu can beat it. Unlikely, though. Yeah. So he's going to sacrifice Pawniard here to Natu. He's not going to Sucker Punch and wait for Natu to Roost. That would be a choke, I think. He's going to just die here and go Ponyta. Yeah, knockoff. Natu goes, and it's over. He forfeits, and Dawn versus wins the game. And yeah, that was pretty interesting. The Psycho Cut Pawniard basically saved it. Otherwise, it was looking good for Ace Hunter. But once he was able to remove Mianfu and then remove Diglett, nothing else could beat Pawniard.